Hello, everybody. This is Dee from Dee's Delicious Bites, and I'm back. I'm back with another video, mukbang and cooking show. Everybody, let's go. Check out my video. If you want to get it right, come join Delicious Bites. Check it, video. Check out my video. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. If you're new here, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell as well so you never miss out on another delicious bite. And if you've been in it for a minute, I thank you so much for coming on back. So today, you guys, I am making one of my favorites. I am making lemon blueberry scones. I love all things lemon, so let's get into this quick and easy recipe. I have in here flour, and in there it is 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Right here, 2 cups AP flour. I have 1 cup of blueberries that I have washed. I have half a cup of heavy whipping cream. I have 1 egg. I have the zest of 1 lemon, and it should be about 1 tablespoon. I have, how much sugar did I use? Probably more than I needed to, 6 tablespoons of sugar, but that's what my recipe calls for, so it's fine. And in here I have, it's not a, kind of sugar-free recipe. It's got some fat to it. There's butter and everything, but it's scones and I don't make them often. In here I have a half a teaspoon of salt, and actually it is a little less than that because I'm supposed to be using unsalted butter, but I didn't have any. So I have salted butter, so I cut back on the actual salt that's going in the recipe. I am supposed to have 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, but I do what I want. I have 2 teaspoons of vanilla because I like it, so I put more in it. And I have 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. So that is it for the recipe. Let's get it cracking. We're going to mix all the dry ingredients, and then we're going to mix the wet ingredients and get it going. I have my oven preheating at 400 degrees. So let's set the blueberries aside. Also the cream, everything that's not going in right this moment, we're going to move it. And we're going to work on this. So how's everybody doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. Get my recipe together. My recipes are handwritten on little pieces of paper here and there. I really need to put together a recipe book. But, until that happens, we're going to go with my pieces of paper. So you want to have your flour in here. You want to go ahead and add your 6 tablespoons of sugar into that flour. And then to that, you want to go ahead and add your lemon zest. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you are enjoying your Sunday. I hope it was restful, getting your mind ready to go back to work tomorrow. And then we're also going to add the baking powder. And then we're going to add the salt. You're going to whisk that together because you don't want your baking powder sitting all in one spot. That is not good. So you need to mix this up. So after you get that whisked up, we are going to go ahead and mix together the wet ingredients. But before we do that, I need to grab my butter. Hold on 1 second, you guys. This recipe calls for 1 stick of butter. Like I said, it should be unsalted butter, but I didn't have unsalted, so I used salted, and I'm just going to use less salt. This butter is frozen. I wanted it frozen because I'm just going to grate it into this flour. Yes, we're grating it into the flour. We're doing that because if the butter is grated into the flour, it mixes better. The flour can coat smaller little balls of butter or smaller little pieces of butter than it can if you cube it. And when you grate it, it helps to make the scones fluffier, lighter, all of that. So I'm not going to have you guys watch me grate this butter. I'll be back when it's done. So you guys, this is what it's looking like so far. I switched out my grater because my smaller one was going to take forever. So I had to whip out the big boy, and it's going much faster. And then I'll show you what it's looking like so far. You can see that. I know it's a white background. It's hard to see. I'll be back when I'm all finished grating butter. So you guys, I'm all done grating the butter. And it's really just going to make a difference as to how light, flaky, and tender your scones are going to come out. So you really want to do this stuff. It's important. And you definitely want to make sure your butter is frozen. Needs to be frozen in order to get it grated. So we're going to mix this flour and this butter together. And then we're going to set it in the refrigerator because you want your scone dough to stay as cold as possible. You really, it makes a difference if it's cold. It really does. Because they won't spread out as much in the oven when you're baking them if you can keep them cold. If you can keep the bat or the dough cold. So I'm going to cut this in with my pastry cutter. If you don't have a pastry cutter, you can use 2 forks, 2 knives. You can use your hands. I don't like to use my hands because your hands will start to warm that butter up, and that's what you don't want to do. So you're going to cut that in to pea-sized knots. Cut it into a little crumble. And then you're going to stick it in the refrigerator. You don't want to overwork it. So I'm just about ready to stop. You don't have to mix it as much either. You don't have to work the dough as much when you grate the butter. So just like that, and it's going to go in the refrigerator until we mix up the wet ingredients. We'll be right back. So now you guys, in a bowl, you want to go ahead and mix together your wet ingredients. So you've got your 1/2 cup of heavy cream. We'll pour that in. Move it back so you can see what I'm doing. And then to your 1/2 cup of heavy cream, you're going to add in your 1 egg, which I already cracked into a bowl. I like my egg cracked separate just in case it's a bad egg. You're not messing up your entire recipe. And then to that, you are going to add in your vanilla. And you're going to whisk that together. Give it a good whisk. Okay, and now you can go get your dry mixture out of the refrigerator and add your wet ingredients to it. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to add our wet ingredients to our dry. We're going to go ahead and mix that up. I like to mix it a little bit first, see what it's looking like, and then I'll add my blueberries in. Okay, so you're going to add in 1 cup of fresh or frozen blueberries. Totally up to you. I had fresh, so I'm using fresh. And again, try to just mix it, but don't overwork your dough and don't smash up your blueberries if you can help it. It's a delicate process. But I'm telling you, it is totally going to be worth it. I see some flour down there that's not mixed up, so you just want to try to lightly fold. Making a mess. You know I'm about to pick that up and put it right back in this bowl. Why? Because I've already wiped my counter down, because this is where I'm going to pour out my dough. So it is a clean counter. It's a clean counter whether I'm pouring out dough or not, just because it's a clean house. You see what I'm saying? Oh, there's nobody in here but me, you guys, so I can't really get that messy. Even when I'm doing these videos, I try to clean as I go. I just don't like to have to come back later and clean up. When I'm done filming my video, I want to be done. I'm tired and I want to be done. So just try to clean as you go. So now that's mixed up enough. I'm going to dust the counter. Yes, I am. With some flour. And with your clean hands, you spread that out. If you have too much flour on the counter, just push some out of the way. Push it out of the way, and if you need it, you can get it back. You don't want too much, but you do want flour on your counter. And then you just pour your dough out. We're going to mix it a little bit more by hand. Okay. Kind of like making biscuits, I guess. I don't really make biscuits. I don't really care for biscuits, actually. Just not my thing. I will eat them, but not a big fan. So anyway, a little bit of flour. You want to form a disc with this as best you can without overworking it. Blueberries jumping out, push them back in there. I'm making a mess, but it's a fun mess. So, let me move this out so you guys can see. Get some flour over here so I can slide it down so you guys can see what I'm doing. And it's about, I don't know. I guess it depends on how thick you want them. Because if you do your dough right, it's not going to spread that much in the oven. So pretty much how thick they are is how thick they're going to stay. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so we're going to stop playing with it because, again, you don't want to overwork it. Okay, let me wash my hands, guys. Really quickly over here at the sink. All right, so I'm going to try to work fast because I don't want my butter to start warming up in that dough. So I have a pan over here and I have some parchment paper. So I'm just going to line this pan with parchment. Let's move this out of the way. So I can bring this forward. There we go. And I just have a regular everyday old spatula. And we're just going to cut it in half. You hear those blueberries popping as I'm cutting through them. And then we're going to cut it in half this way. That's 4. You want 8. So you're going to cut each one in half again. And that's going to give you 8. There you have it. These are some big scones, you guys. And then you're just going to pick them up and put them on your parchment. They're supposed to be 2 inches apart. Not sure if these are going to be 2 inches apart. I'm going to try my best, but we'll see. This one is loaded with blueberries, you guys. This piece right here is loaded with blueberries. I'm trying my best to get them all on here. Let me see if I can arrange this some kind of way to get the last one on. Clearly, they're not 2 inches apart. There we go. So I got them all on the best I could. Now what I want to do is go ahead and stick these in the freezer. I'm going to flash freeze them really quickly for probably about 10 minutes. You're supposed to put them in the refrigerator for like a half hour to let them get cold before you bake them. I'm not going to do the refrigerator for a half hour. I'm going to do the freezer for about 10-15 minutes. We'll be back when they're ready to bake. This is what they're looking like. You guys, almost forgot a step. Hold on. I'm so busy trying to hurry up and get them in the freezer because I don't want the butter to start melting. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. Clearly, you can dust these with the heavy cream once they come out of the freezer, but I want to do it before. So you're just going to brush them, not dust them. Brush them with heavy cream, and then you are going to dust them with sugar, granulated sugar. And they tell you to use the coarse granulated sugar. I don't have any of that, so I'm just going to use my regular old granulated sugar. And this is to make them brown really nicely. The sugar will make them crispy a little bit on top. So that is the purpose of this step that I almost forgot to tell you about. But when I pulled them out of the freezer and they weren't brushed and dusted, we definitely would have covered that step. And then see, I have one over here that's trying to fall apart. It's so flaky. Just push it back together. Just go ahead and push that dough right back together. And that comes from not overworking your dough. They come out really nice and flaky when you don't overwork the dough. Last one. Pour that little bit on there. And I like to dust. I keep saying dust. I like to brush them all around, everywhere, because I want them to be nice and crispy. And then you're just going to take some regular sugar, regular smegular oat sugar, and you're going to sprinkle that on there because I don't have, like I said, I don't have any coarse sugar. Just a little sprinkling on each one. There we go. Now they're going to go in the freezer for about 15 minutes. We'll be back. So you guys, while the scone dough is in the refrigerator and it is, chilling, I have started the lemon glaze, and it is simply 1 cup of powdered sugar and 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. I've already done 1 whole lemon in here so far, actually a lemon and a half, and I'm just going to do the last one. Put my lemon in my lemon squeezer and give it a squeeze. Get that lemon juice out of there. I don't really squeeze it up here at the handles. I've done that before and broke it. I broke one. I had to buy another one. So I tend to squeeze it as close to the bottom as I can. There we go. And I just need 3 tablespoons of that. So we're just going to dump the 1 cup of powdered sugar here. And then get your 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Hopefully I have 3. 1, 2, 3. Actually, I have 4. So that worked out well. I'm just going to mix this together. That's all the glaze is. And then you give it a taste and see if it's to your liking. If it's not, you can play with it. You could add vanilla in here if you'd like. That would tone down the lemon. If the lemon is too zesty for you, too sour, you could tone it down. But that's all you do. And that is the lemon glaze for the scones. Isn't that pretty? So let's give it a taste and see if it needs anything. No, it really doesn't. That's going to be really good on those scones. So we're going to set this aside. And when the scones are done, I'll be back to glaze them with you all. So you guys, the scones are done. I have pulled them out of the oven. It smells amazing in here. And this is what they look like. So we are going to just drizzle them with the lemon glaze that I made. It says to drizzle them while they're hot. So let's get to drizzling. These smell so good. They're huge. So really, this is 2 servings per scone. I guess I could have made them a little smaller, but you know, nope. I went on ahead and just made them super huge. I'm just going to put a little lemon wedge on them just to make them pretty. You can dust them with powdered sugar if you like. I prefer the glaze. Then we're going to glaze them one more time with that lemon on there. And you guys, they are done. Blueberry lemon scones. Absolutely amazing. There they go. They are going to taste amazing. They are super warm right now. These would be good with a cup of coffee. They would be good with a cup of tea. They would be good just on their own. So you guys, that's it for this video. I'm going to close it out. If you like this content and you'd like to see more from me, please give this video a big fat thumbs up. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Tell all your friends and family about Dee's Delicious Bites, and maybe they'll stop by and have a delicious bite with me as well. As always, I believe that you're capable of amazing things, so much more than you know. So believe. So until I see you and you see me, be beautiful, be blessed, and be the best you that you can possibly be. I love you guys so, so much, and I will see you in my next one. My very next one. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.